p.m. on TV 33. Join me, Barry Ross, on Mixing It Up. We'll feature informative community organizations that will offer solutions to Wayne County residents in reference to employment, safety, and security within neighborhoods, job training, education, and mentoring programs. Remember, Tuesdays, 9 p.m. Join me, Barry Ross, Mixing It Up on TV 33. Good evening, and welcome to another edition of Mixing It Up. My name is Barry Ross, and I'm your host, and I am grateful to be here this evening. We have quite a show for you tonight, but before we get started, I introduce our guests and tell you what's going on. You're watching us on TV 33 in Detroit. You can also catch us online, TV33live.com. And we are also on Comcast 20. We're simulcast on these three mediums. And we certainly encourage you out there to call us if you have any comments whatsoever. If you have any questions whatsoever, please call 313-868-0342. The numbers are going across your screen, but I want you to know that you're welcome to call. We welcome you to ask any questions whatsoever, any comments, any opinions. 868-0351 and 868-4336. On tonight's show, we're going to have a couple young men that are very interesting young entrepreneurs in the coffee business. That they are going to explain to you how you can get involved in a distributorship, so to speak, on a healthy coffee that is not only nutritional, that it is good for you. Hard to believe, because we put in too much toxic poison with caffeine into our bodies, and this is a new healthy coffee, a great opportunity for you to get involved with not a lot of investment. And also on tonight's show, I have a very, very great, interesting interview with Tracey Gilliam. He is the promoter and manager of our very own from Detroit, Cornelius K9 Bundridge, who is a world junior welterweight champ. And he's going to be here tonight in about a half an hour. And not only is he a promoter, he's got he's a publisher of a magazine, and he also runs these nationwide hair expo shows that are competitive. And he's going to tell us all about it. And he is, I'm very excited to have him here, as well as my other guests. And of course, needless to say, I have my close grassroots buddy, Robert Robinson, the second, who is the founder of It Takes a Village, and he has some guests that he's brought along that have their daughter has disappeared. Amongst the other tragedies that are going on within our city, and so many women have disappeared lately, and also as well as little baby Bianca, which is a mystery, and we are dumbfounded. That's right. I don't know what we're going to do other than we got to work together, and you got to get involved. Tonight, I want to talk to you about a foundation that we've started. And this foundation is very important. It is the Ivory Ivy Emergency Children's Fund. Ivory Ivy is the little baby girl that died in a fire about 2 months ago, that never should have died. The fire department was dispatched obviously a fire engine, and apparently the equipment was not able to put out the fire. And this is a travesty. It's almost a satire on the level and devastation that is being taken advantage of people that live in our city by goods and services. So we wanted to start something that means something. And we're asking you, my God, let's get involved. The fund is set up at Comerica Bank. It's called the Ivory Ivy Emergency Children's Fund. The purpose, any child from day one that's born onto this earth till they're 18 years of age, and if their families don't have funding to pay for a funeral because this baby's mom and grandma didn't have any money, not only did this baby die unnecessarily, in my opinion, they didn't have money to bury the child. So we're asking you, I'm pleading with you, get involved. Now listen, we're trying to illustrate here that there's other organizations that are uniting. They say we can't work together. Look at my face. I'm with you all out there. We need to get together. You go to any Comerica bank, I don't care if you give $5, $500, $1,000. We're encouraging our corporate sponsors that are on our shows on this station to get involved. We're encouraging all aspects of government to donate to this very, very viable fund. Now, this fund is never going to dry up, and we hope to God we never have to use this money again. We hope we never have to use it. We hope we get a lot of money, but we hope we never have to use it. So there was an article in the paper this week about this fund, and it's Saturday, and the day before Christmas Eve, and I felt, Detroit News, thank you, that it didn't get the level of feeling and empathy that it so deserves. My God, do you listen? I only cry out of one eye, but I'm crying, and I'm telling you that you need to cry too, and we need to get together. So we're asking you to send in some money. The Ivy Emergency Children's Fund. It's nonprofit. I cannot touch this money. We have 2 signers on this account. It is strictly legit. This is for babies and adolescents in the city of Detroit that die within emergency situations, especially within fires. We don't benefit at all from this other than having you get involved. All right, so without further ado, I want to introduce to everybody my first guest. And I have with me on the extreme right, Mr. Michael Bussey, who's no stranger to this station. Michael, thank you for coming on.
It's a pleasure to be here, Barry.
Thank you. And would you like to introduce your friend sitting next to us in the middle and tell him what's going on?
Well, I'd like to introduce this gentleman. This gentleman is setting records in the industry, in the business. He is setting records on a worldwide basis. There has never been a representative to reach diamond status in 30 days in the history of the company, ever. And I'm just going to come out and tell you that it takes sales of $200,000 in that month in order to reach that diamond status. This gentleman did it within 30 days of joining the business.
What is the business, Michael?
The business is actually legitimately healthy coffee. The company is called Organo Gold. And the gentleman that I'm speaking about, his name is Mr. Marcus Murray. He is simply a magnificent individual whom has just simply taken over the business. He is taking the industry by storm.
Can you handle this?
Wow.
It's the truth. And he's going to come and talk to us a little more about the business and exactly what the product represents and how we can become entrepreneurs in our own rights.
Marcus, I want to welcome you to our show.
Marcus Murray.
And Mr. Murray, thank you very much for coming to the show tonight. Tell everybody the name of the company, how long it's been around, and your involvement, and how people can get involved.
Perfect. The company, again, is Organo Gold, and they've been in business now for 3 years. So it's not a brand new company. It's a company that's very well established, currently doing business in 16 countries, a few of which are Canada, the United States, Brazil, London, the Philippine Islands. We're opening in Nigeria in just the next 60 days or so. But really, the opportunity, Barry, in this community is really extraordinary. And that was why I really counted an honor and consider it a privilege when you invited me to be here with you and Michael on Channel 33.
Well, that's
because
our privilege.
this is a station that definitely truly impacts and informs and leads the community.
That's
so
right.
because of that, I saw it as a great honor, and so I wanted to make it a point to be here. This is what's key about the company Organo Gold. It's a simple upfront, it's easy to get involved in, and our slogan is it's simple, it's easy, it's coffee. Coffee is the most consumed beverage in the world, second only to water. If you look from an investment standpoint, the #1 traded commodity in the world is oil. The #2 traded commodity in the world is coffee.
Wow.
So if you take a look around and look at all of the big businesses that are now in the coffee business, there is a reason, and what we call that is a clue. If you take a look at McDonald's, they had an article in the Wall Street Journal that said McDonald's has now fired Ronald McDonald. And the reason they fired him was to replace him with coffee, and they opened and launched McCafe. McCafe has gone on to do billions of dollars. It literally has saved the McDonald's Corporation. You look at Speedway, which was historically known for gasoline. They are now promoting the 99-cent cup of coffee, fixed fresh every 30 minutes. So if you look at Dunkin' Donuts, who was notoriously 2 donuts in the logo, it's now 2 cups of coffee. So if you look at Macy's, these are all indicators. You go to Macy's and you walk in, and to the left you see a Starbucks, and to the right you see Keurig coffee makers. So this tells us that there's profit in this industry. Typically, as a group of people, we're the last ones to find out about opportunity. We're the last ones to be engaged in opportunity. That's why Channel 33 is doing such an extraordinary job getting the information to the people in a timely manner. So if you imagine for a brief moment, a person with just a few dollars, a little hope and ambition, can get involved in the coffee business by simply sharing coffee with those that they know and care about. It's simple.
How does it work? How does it? What kind of opportunity? What kind of packages are available to people, and how do they get started? And
Wonderful. There are actually 3 different levels that a person can get involved in the business, and I'll talk about the lowest level, which is just getting a distributorship, is only $49.95. Now, from that point, you're able to buy product wholesale and retail it. See, that's a lost art in our community. Remember, once upon a time, we were not employees of all the people around. As a matter of fact, it was very difficult if you were a person of color to get a job. It's just the way that it worked. So we were forced by just design of what was going on in the community. We were forced to be entrepreneurs. We were forced to be seamsters and seamstresses. We were forced to be cooks, and we were forced to make bean pies and sweet potato pies and to sell pound cakes. We were forced to sew and hem and do all kinds of things. We were forced to be great painters, great masons, great laborers, and we did that so that we could provide for our families. But what happened when desegregation occurred, and it's just the reality, you can time it and track it, I'm sure, as you have, Minister, it's, if you take a look at it, when that occurred, all of a sudden we were all reintegrated, everything was fine and peaceful, and it really became a struggle. We were no longer business owners. So when a person does not own their own business, they do not control their own destiny.
That's right.
So it's something about business ownership that it really allows you as a person, you as a leader of a family, to really change the trajectory of your future generations.
let me just ask you, if I may, for $49.95.
Yes.
What do they get?
They actually get the opportunity to buy product at wholesale. For example, if you look at the boxes of coffee that you see here on the table, they're averaging wholesale $17 per box. The box retails for $35. So if you take a look at that, you're immediately making a profit. You're immediately doubling your money. So the beauty of the business is you can start with a very low outlay and you can build up from there. Now, there for people that are looking at the business and they say, you know what, I want to really build this. I really want to get aggressive with this thing. There are 3 different builder packs that are available. With the builder packs, that entitles you to a higher bonus, a higher compensation level. And basically the way that it works, you're able to get involved at the gold pack level, which is what I did and many people do. It's the highest level. It pays you a 20% override.
And how much does that cost to get involved in that level?
That's $1,295 at the gold pack level.
Between $49.95 and $1,000, is there anything in between?
Yes, there is.
It's relatively a big spread there.
Yes, indeed.
Okay.
The silver pack level is $499. It entitles you to a 15% override on all the volume that you and your team create. And then finally, at the lowest level in the builder packs, there's a $199 option. It provides you with a smaller amount of product, but yet it gives you the product that you need. Because what happens if a person just comes in at the distributor level and they only buy the $49.95 distributor pack, they now have to reorder coffee and tea and hot chocolate each time they're running out. Whereas if you buy one of the builder packs, you're getting a substantial amount of product up front so that you don't have to, you're basically able to save on shipping and handling.
Okay, we have different, you're very informative to say the least, you're very articulate, and I appreciate you coming here. You have different kinds of coffee as well.
Correct.
Michael has given me a few I've tasted. There's, well, how many different kinds of coffee
Well,
are there?
there's latte, there's cafe mocha, there's the black, and then there is the green tea is really, really extraordinary. What people find is when they use the product, it really gives them a phenomenal boost of energy. It's very balanced. And there's one more. Here is the hot chocolate here, just to give you an idea. Kids actually love it. When you can taste and enjoy a quality beverage like this hot chocolate, you're talking about a hot chocolate that's healthy. What makes the products healthy? Ganoderma. Ganoderma is a product that actually comes from the extract from the reishi mushroom. The reishi mushroom is grown in China. It's a mushroom well known. If you go to any of the Asian health food stores, they have the reishi mushroom there. The interesting thing about the mushroom is you have to boil it for 10 hours before the extract will be released. It holds on to the nutrient until 10 hours have passed. Well, the product, the nutrient, Ganoderma, is infused into all of our beverages. So what this does, it gives you an opportunity to drink a product that you're comfortable with, coffee, tea, hot chocolate, that type of thing. And at the same time, it gives you the opportunity to receive the benefits of Ganoderma. Now, we make no medical claims, but we encourage each of your listeners to Google the word Ganoderma and put any health condition behind it.
Spell Ganoderma.
Ganoderma. Ganoderma.
Let me just ask you this. You're extremely informative, like I said, and there's no way that there's enough time to convey all this. But if they want to get involved, where do they contact you? Where do they contact Michael? What do they need to do? Are there seminars? There's educational classes for this? And how can they get started with you? Give them you have a website. You each one have a website?
Excellent.
You get a website with
yes,
this, right?
you get a website.
Let's tell them about that.
When you get involved, your website is set up instantly. For tonight, what we'd like is for anyone that's interested to contact Michael Bussey directly, and if you would provide the phone number that they can best reach you at.
They can reach me at 313-387-7909. 313-387-7909.
Michael's becoming an old pro. You have a website, Michael, that they could email you? Or
email me at mbussey1@att.net. You also can email me at bottomline.1@att.net.
That is an excellent question. That's an excellent question. Yes, excellent question. We just got a question from the audience.
My coordinator.
You're all right. That's wonderful. The question was, can you sign up at a lower level and then upgrade at a future point? Yes, the answer is a definite yes. And that's the beauty of the business. Wherever you are economically, it doesn't matter. But what's most important, we almost feel like, do you remember the story of Harriet Tubman and the freeing of the slaves?
Of course.
It's almost that type of situation right now where so many people have been in bondage for so long that they don't even realize they're bound. What we are doing right now is educating the general public on the fact that there is now a way, there's a vehicle, a method that actually has been proven to produce extraordinary success with a simple, easy product, coffee.
Let me just ask you this. Realistically and honestly,
Yes.
what kind of money might someone, what,
At the lower level, we'll
God forbid I did it in
I'll
his
move
show.
up later.
Yes, yes.
I'll move up later.
Yes.
Sign me in at the lower level.
Yes.
And we work out the details.
All right, all right.
Perfect.
Thank you.
Wonderful.
Thank you.
You got a call.
All right.
Realistically,
You got 2 calls.
all right, what kind of monies might someone that was very aggressive make, within the first 60, 90 days? What might someone expect?
Well, there are a couple of good examples, and I'm glad you asked that question. There's one young man who's local here in the Novi Mall, actually. He decided to get involved in the business. He set up a kiosk. And in a kiosk scenario where they were, see, I believe that you have not because you ask not. And what he did, he went to the mall and he asked them if they would provide him with a kiosk
Sure.
so that he could offer healthy coffee. They said yes. He asked, can I get the kiosk for free? They said yes.
That's
He's
unprecedented.
now at the mall offering a healthy coffee with no cost for his kiosk, and people are buying the coffee. Now, that's one example. So how much can you generate? If you look at a profit, coffee is costing you wholesale 50 cents. If you're selling it for $4, you're making a $3.50 per cup profit.
All right, hold on one second.
Yes.
We have a call? Hello, you're on the air.
Hello.
Hi, how are you?
I wanted to know about what does this here product do? What does it do?
Perfect. The great thing about the product is it's infused with Ganoderma, and Ganoderma has been proven to have significant health benefits. Now, we don't make health claims, but again, what you want to do is go to the internet and take a look at Ganoderma. It literally addresses the majority of issues that people have. You've got to look that up.
Ma'am, first of all, I want to tell you, I appreciate your call, but I just want to tell you, there's several products that they offer. Have you been listening a little bit?
Well, I just turned in, and I wanted to know what kind of product.
All right,
this was.
they have a special green tea. They have 3 or 4 different kinds of coffee and hot chocolate. So there's different products that are available. Okay? We have another call?
Okay.
This is my favorite. This latte, this particular coffee is so delicious and women love it, but it's really great for guys too. The number one reason why is it curbs your appetite.
Okay,
So
you say women love it. Women love it. What it's supposed to do?
Women love it because it curbs your appetite, it decreases your craving for sweets, and at the same time, it gives you a healthy energy. So you don't get the jitters that you would normally find with a traditional coffee. It doesn't have the bitter aftertaste. It's very smooth, and this isn't an instant coffee. It's actually a pre-brewed coffee. So if you imagine the way the food is prepared for astronauts,
Can you tell me where it came from?
Wonderful.
Where did it come from?
The product is actually packaged in Malaysia.
Oh.
The product that's inside the Ganoderma comes from China, and it's distributed out of Ferndale, Washington.
Okay.
Would you like
Okay,
any
well,
contact?
that's all I wanted to know, that word Ganagam or whatever you were saying.
Ganoderma.
Thank you very much for
I never really heard of it. Thank you.
Thank you. Do we have another call? Okay. Real quick, why don't you guys just give us your contact information again?
Perfect.
There's not enough time for this because this is a great concept that you have, and we'll have to have you back, and maybe the minister will have you on sometime in the future.
Actually, someone just asked in the audience about the income potential. There is no limit. We don't make income claims. However, there are documented stories about people that are in our business that have achieved significant ongoing income. And the beauty of this is the income that you create with this business is residual. When a person finds a quality cup of coffee, they're going to, when they run out, coffee drinkers reorder. It's just the way that it works.
We're creatures of habit with what we like.
Yes, and there's a caller.
Why don't we got another call? All right, let's take one more call. Hello, you're on the air. Hello?
Hello.
Hi, how are you?
Hi.
Do you have a question for our guests?
Yeah. Yes, I wanted to know that
Hello? Are you still there?
as the,
If you have your TV on, could you
health-wise,
please
does
cut it down?
it help with blood pressure and things of that nature?
Not really.
Actually, that's an excellent question. The question was, does the product Ganoderma help with blood pressure and things of that nature? The answer to it is found on Google. Again, the one thing about our company, because we don't make medical claims, you have to look at the power of the product, which is fully investigated and researched on Google. There have been reports done by Johns Hopkins and a variety of, even the University of Michigan has done a report on Ganoderma and the health benefits. They're very significant, and anyone not taking the product should be.
In answer to the question, can it lower blood pressure?
It'll definitely make you healthier.
That's great. Okay, why don't you guys give them, we're going to wrap it up, give them your contact information again.
Perfect.
And your names and how to get a hold of you.
Of course, I'm Michael Bussey. You can reach me at 313-387-7909. 313-387-7909. And you can also reach me on the web at bottomline@att.net. That's bottomline.1@att.net.
And you can help them get set up in this
We will help
business, the
them get set
distributorships
up
and all
right
the
away.
packages.
Absolutely.
Any
right
questions, feel free to call Michael Bussey. He's here once a week generally, and we really appreciate you coming.
My pleasure.
I thank you very much.
away. That number once more, it's 313-387-7909. 313-387-7909.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank
Guys,
Thank you
stick
for
around
having
for a
us
second.
on.
Thank
Okay,
you both.
will do.
We'll take a short break, and we'll be right back. Thank you, Michael. Thank you.
Thank you, Barry.
Thank you.
Pleasure having you.
Tuesdays, 9 p.m. on TV 33. Join me, Barry Ross, on Mixing It Up. We'll feature informative community organizations that will offer solutions to Wayne County residents in reference to employment, safety, and security within neighborhoods, job training, education, and mentoring programs. Remember, Tuesdays, 9 p.m. Join me, Barry Ross, Mixing It Up on TV 33.
Hi, Mom. Where'd you get all this Narcotics Anonymous stuff from?
Mrs. Owens had Narcotics Anonymous come and talk to our class about meetings that can help people stop using drugs.
Narcotics Anonymous.
Yes, please. Can you help me?
Call Narcotics Anonymous. We can help you.
We are the faces of Detroit. We are the faces
of Delray.
We are the faces of Delray. Governor Snyder wants to put us out of our homes by building a bridge in our front yard.
Homes where we raised our families.
A community where we buried our loved one.
Delray is struggling, but it's not lifeless. It's a community of hopes and dreams.
Governor Snyder.
Invest,
not destroy.
1,000 men's suits. And right now at Sermons, you can buy one and get two free. Not one suit,
but two free. Buy one suit, bring two friends. Buy one suit, bring two relatives. Buy one suit, get two free. Bring your pastor, your boss, your teacher. Buy one suit and get two free. Sermons with 90 years of experience, carrying jeans, exotic skin shoes, sets, shirts, leather, sweaters, everything for the well-dressed man. Buy one suit, get two free. Sermons on Randolph in downtown Detroit.
Everybody to Mixing Up. My name is Barry Ross. Again, we want to remind you, you can listen to us and watch us on TV 33, Comcast 20. We encourage you to call us, 313-868-0342, 868-0351, 868-4336. We're on the World Wide Web, tv33live.com. And without any further delay, I want to introduce everybody to Mr. Tracey Gilliam, the one and only. We're very proud to have you here this evening. And Tracey is a multitasker. He has a boxing promotion business, the hair magazine. You do competitive hair shows across the country. And I have to tell you that this man probably in his phone right now has the picture of almost every celebrity known to man. And tell us about your fighter you have right now locally in Detroit and what's going on and what can we expect good things to come out of K9. And come a little closer.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you, Barry, for having me on this show. You are a great host, and I'd like to say, before I get started with my fighter, that I have a reputation around the country as far as being one of the finest dressed publishers, promoters in the country. And I want to take this time out to say that, you know, the secret behind my success for dressing, which I have appeared on many TV shows and many magazines, got a lot of credit, is this man next to me. A lot of people don't know. They ask me, you know, literally all around the world, where do you get your suits from? Where do you get your clothes? And ever since I was a little boy, you know, my parents, you know, always brought me to Sermon's clothing store. And Barry don't even know I'm saying this. And they brought me to Sermon's clothing store, and I remember his uncle, Mr. Sermon, he had the upstairs was where the VIPs went, and downstairs. And I never forget this. So I had an older brother, and they used to come in and get the Swedish knit pants, and you know, and that was the style. And oh man, look, they had the single stitch Swedish knit in school. They used to talk about it. Then they had the double stitch and the triple stitch, and Sherman's was the place to be. And when I was a kid, you know, I mean, I used to, my persona was the older kids because how well they dress, you know, and I want to pattern myself, and they would always talk about, you know, and that was the thing that the ladies liked. They liked a well-dressed man, you know. I was a boy, but I was growing up in a man's world, and it was always a privilege when we get a chance to go downtown to sermons, you know. I mean, this was a preparation. This was a preparation to, we're going down, you know, talked about to everybody in school, in the neighborhoods. We're going to sermons. And when we get there, I used to go to the kids section. One thing about it, sermons, even for the kids, they had fashionable clothes. I mean, they had the up-to-date clothes, but then he also had ones on one shelf and the other shelves for the more upscale clothes. So that gave me incentive as a kid. This is God's truth. You know, and my mom was here, she can vouch for it. You know, and I got a paper route, and some of the things that I've done, you know, because I know the bottom shelf was some of the sale items, was some of the things she was planning to get for me. So I know if I put my little work hard money in and add it with it, you know, then I would be privileged to get the upper shelf items. And, you know, one thing about Mr. Sermons, I have to say, you know, about your uncle, is that no matter what the situation was, whatever the price tag was, he would always bring it down. He always make it comfortable and convenient. So he see that was in the ballpark, he'd make it where you can get two. You know what I'm saying? And so now we got two, and an outfit, and a shirt, and a pants. So now I went to school, no question, who was the sharpest in town. But that was my childhood years growing up, and went into the from the Swedish knits, and then I couldn't wait till when I got older, because then I can go up and be more privileged with all of the VIPs. I mean, all the top people in the city. If you were somebody, the who's was the people that came to sermons. On the walls, they had all of the Temptations and all the top fighters, Tommy Hearns. So as it's coming up, you know, this was the Hall of Fame that in the neighborhood that you wanted to be in. You know, that was the spot. You know, and these was all top talents. So as I grew up, that was another element to move further in that direction, as far as especially fashion is part of my persona, as you see today. You know, and one thing that I must say is that as I moved up the ladder, you know, as a former boxing champion myself, you know, and those were proud moments to be able to come in and to have Barry and Steve to come in and to be able to take you know, took extra care of me. They took time out, and I'll come in and get my outfits, and I was able to pick and choose as I wanted. You know what I'm saying? Now they got all the top selections, but you can buy one, get two free, and but now
all right.
Now one thing about that, I like to come in. If I'm getting three,
he gets three.
I got six. so you come out with a whole lot of real nice bags. But one thing I must say, Barry, you know, not only to give me good deals, but this is my coordinator. This is my chief coordinator. So those that's watching I sent this message out to the locals and also to those that I have thousands of fan base and thousands of friends on Facebook and Twitter, and to those that's watching this via internet. This is my fashion coordinator sitting next to me right here. He sets the tone. When I come in the store, he matches my shirts, my ties, my hankies, you know, the whole nine. When I go home, I just re-coordinate what they done coordinated. So this is my the socks too. You know, we you know
he
the
gets
socks.
the socks.
Yeah, the socks. You know,
the
socks is that's an element. But I like to just take that time out because I never had a chance to be on the set to give my fashion, and I am into hair. You know, my world-renowned Prestige Hair magazine, you find me on page 3, and those of you literally around the world that ask how I get dressed, I've taken that time out to give my salute and salutation to my fashion wardrobe, Mr. Steve and Mr. Barry. I'd like to take that time out to thank you. Yes, sir. Now, you know, to the business at hand. Yeah, and here in Detroit, you know, I'm privileged to say that I have one of the hottest fighters in the world. Cornelius K9 Bundridge, he has fought his way to the top. This guy, he comes from a broken home, you know, right here in the city of Detroit, you know, with no daddy, you know, and going as the people in Detroit do. Some of the kids growing up with education.
Hold on, we have let's take a call.
Certainly.
And I hope it's about boxing and K9 and not the store.
Hey, we'll take it.
What? We have a call, Malik?
Yep.
Hello, you're on the air. Good evening. With Tracey Gilliam. Are you there, caller? Hello? Okay, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Not a problem. Maybe they call.
And this was not staged. I can't believe that you talked more about sermons closed than what we want to talk. Are you there? Okay, continue.
Yes, and but see, as if coming from a broken home, you know, and coming up in as far as with the lack of education, coming up through the Detroit public school systems, you know, I graduated from Detroit public school system. People knock the school systems, but you know, it's what you put in. You know, it's what you put in is what you get out. That's anywhere, you know. And one thing that K9 has, as he's come up, and he had to take the hard road because boxing is a hard road. You know what I'm saying? And people that think that boxing is easy because they see the glory, but they don't know the story of these fighters. You know what I'm saying? And you know, and they see the money, but they don't know the things, the elements, and all of the things they have to go through. But he had to fight his way to the top. He had to come in 90% of the time as an opponent. What that means is that when they have the big fighters that's built up, they gave him 6 months to train, and they give the opponent a call at the last minute and say, we got you to come in and fight this guy. They may give you 2-3 weeks notice, and then, you know, and with all of the cards stacked against you, and he would come in, he have to take these fights in order to make a living. And with these fights at hand, he came in and he punished these champions. He upset these guys in these big hometowns. They come in.
And he's not a kid.
Oh, no. No. Well, he's been in the boxing game for about 15 years, and coming up from his and see, he had no amateur career. See, I come up and had amateur career. Most of all your top fighters, had amateur careers. Hearns had a illustrious amateur career, and Sugar Ray Leonard, they had great amateur careers, Golden Gloves, and Olympic trials and things of that nature. And like Floyd Mayweather, he had a very beautiful amateur career. And you have those tough fighters like K9s and that would come up that did not have much of an amateur career, and weren't professional, so they rely strictly on their skills. So therefore, if people say first thing they see when they talk about a fighter's record is that have he had any losses? Yeah, sure. Yeah, he had a couple losses in the early going stage of his career. But the thing is, I look at those early losses as experience losses. You know what I'm saying? Because as he's with no amateur, all these other great fighters, Floyd and all of them, even Mike Tyson, he took a loss. In fact, before I came, I spoke with Henry Tillman. He was the Olympic gold medalist in the '84 Olympics, and that was a good friend of mine, Henry. If you're watching, he was the last guy to beat Mike Tyson in amateurs in the Olympic trials. That's why Mike Tyson didn't go to get the gold medal, and he went professional. And Henry Tillman went on to win the gold medal in the Olympics.
If I may interrupt, first of all, K9 is an extraordinarily humble man.
Yes, he is.
And we find today in the entertainment business. And I know a little bit about boxing. You and I have had some great conversations about style and how fighters fight in general. But he has the ability to be grounded.
Yes.
And for somebody in entertainment business, especially a fighter today, to not be full of himself. He's always giving credit to God.
Yeah, absolutely.
He's always sending us texts about Jesus. What have you. But how many fights has he had?
K9 right now is 34. He has 34, actually a total of 37 fights.
All right, and he was on the Contender with Sugar Ray and
Sylvester
Stallone.
Absolutely.
And he just had a fight a couple months ago.
Yeah, he defended his IBF World Super Welterweight Championship, his first title defense against the #1 rated contender in the world, Saku Powell.
Tell everybody what the IBF is.
The IBF, that's the international, it's 3 world bodies in boxing. You have the IBF, the WBC, and the WBA. So when you have an undisputed champion, that you have the fella that has all 3 of the belts. That's IBF, WBC, and WBA. And while we're on the bodies of boxing, world bodies, K9 is his vow is he's committed to unifying the titles.
All 3.
All 3 of the belts. He has 1. He has 2 more to go. But the other 2 fighters are running. They're running and they're dodging. And they see those guys. Those guys are in position to make the big money, and they can pick and choose and take the easier fights.
And they have nothing to gain by fighting him, I guess.
Nothing gained except for his title belt and a hard way to go. He's considered what's called a hard fight, and they want hard fights as they can to make the money in boxing. And see, he fought his way up as a top contender in that division. So WBC, they didn't give him the break. WBA didn't give him the break. But the IBF, see, he had to earn his way. He didn't get nothing on the silver platter. Again, they brought him in as an opponent, and he had to go over to Germany and on a short notice against the undefeated Zorbro. It's from the Klitschko. That was on the Klitschko's undercard. That's the heavyweight champion. And he had Russian, yes. And he had to fight him, and this was supposed to be a walk in the park. K9 punished him and knocked him out and gave him his first loss in the 5th round, which automatically qualified him as the #1 mandatory challenger for the IBF championship. And Corey Spinks, the former undisputed champion, 2-time world champion.
This is Michael Spinks.
Leon Spinks' son. Michael Spinks'
son.
Nephew. Corey had a illustrious career, a Golden Glove, 3-time national champion.
Hold on, excuse me. We have a call. Let's take the call. Hello, you're on the air with Tracey Gilliam on Mixing It Up.
Hey, Tracy, how are you today?
Great.
Mr.
How you
Ross?
doing?
Yes, hi. How are you?
Hey, this is David Solomon, and I know you guys are talking about Corey. I have to tell you guys, you mentioned that he was a very humble young man, and I just really wanted to co-sign that. Back in the late 90s, I guess, before his career was going on, I was a weight trainer up at the Joseph Walker Williams Center, a community center inside on 12th and Claremont. And I noticed that Mr. We always called him K9. But just before, what he was doing for money, he was training young ladies inside of the Walker Williams Center. And some he was training for free, some he charged them a little bit. But how he carried himself, I was so proud of him, and I used to tell him that all the time. He never used vulgar language. He was always respectful to the women. And one thing that even you guys don't know about, he helped me to break up what could have been an all-out fight on Woodrow Wilson one night, and he helped me to break that up. You know, I even went to his first fight. So that young man, I have not heard from him in a couple of years. I'm still a community leader around that area in 7 Mile Road, Outer Drive, but I talk very highly of him, and I'm sure that he'll remember David Solomon, and please tell him that I am still just as proud of him today as I was back then. Please give him that for me.
David, that's a great call. David.
Yes, sir.
Haven't we met?
Yes, we have, Mr. Ross. I am also a member of the United Community of America with Pastor Ovella.
Yes.
And I had the pleasure to shake hands with you at St. Peter's. That was a while back at one of the first days of peace and healing.
I remember you very well, and I hope everything is okay in that area. I know you've had a lot of problems, but you're doing a good job over there. I hear about you.
Oh, no, I'm okay. I even sent you a Facebook message today, Mr. Ross, just a hello, because I haven't. But I know the last peace and healing meeting we had at a church on Oakman and Joy Road, I'm very active with that because I was raised with Ovella, and I believe in what she does. I believe in the support that you give, and sir, I'm just as proud as you are. So
thank you. We're way on board with her, and you know that next month she's supposed to have a motorcade. Are you aware of that?
I'm aware of that. She gives me all the information up front. I'm normally on one of the one of the board members, I guess I should say. We have our meetings, we keep them, but I have not really been around because I've had several deaths in my family. But she gives me the information up front right away to let me know. Even tomorrow, there's going to be something at a free family event tomorrow, Wednesday.
Tell us about it real quick. Do you have the
I'm
address and what time?
I'm going to try and attend that. But anything that we do to empower our community, I'm with it, and I'm going to be there.
David, real quick, let me just give you my number. I want you to call me in an hour and a half or so. I just want to talk with you. You ready? Can you write this down?
Sure, I'm ready.
248-417-9696.
417-9696.
Yep. Call me later on this
evening.
Okay,
Mr. Ross, I'll call you then.
Thank you for the call.
God bless.
Tracy, when is his next prospective fight? K9.
Well, K9 is coming up to his mandatory defense against the #1 contender. That's going to be around March. So what we're planning is we're in discussion now with Olympic Entertainment, Mr. Mike Illich Group, very good supporter here in Detroit, maybe having a exhibition fight at the downtown Cobo maybe in February. So we'll be announcing something soon. Maybe
that's what we talked about. Is he still with in some respect, Don King? Is he still under a contract with Don King?
Yes, Don King is his promoter.
One more fight?
Actually, he has 2 fights with Don King. We had to 1 fight, but for some odd reason in the contract, he still has 2 fights pending with Don King.
Is Don King sort of moving him a little slow, you think?
Yeah, well, he's not happy with the speed that
K9's not happy with.
No,
the
he's
speed.
not happy with the speed.
Are you?
Not at all. Not at all. Not at all. And Don
That's too bad.
Yeah, Don has been out. I've seen in lots of instances that he's been out trying to get fights with K9 and for K9 with the top contenders as K9 requested with Canelo. Canelo is the WBC champion. When K9 won the belt, Manny Pacquiao immediately moved down. He moved back down to welterweights, and he gave that belt up. So Alvarez Canelo, he took that title, and K9 has been calling him out, but there's no bites, no calls. But one thing that we learned that the promoters are doing at this level, one thing about getting here is one thing, but once you get here, you see things from a whole nother perspective. And a lot of what the promoters are doing, like Golden Boys and Bob Arum. They're fighting their fighters against each other. You know what I'm saying? They're fighting the Arum fighters against the Arum fighters, and the Golden Boy against the Golden Boys, and it's like Sugar Shane Mosley. I mean, they pass him around like a cigarette. You know what I'm saying? I mean, he lose one fight and he gets in, he fight another for another title fight. I mean, we going, hey, you know, I mean, whatever happened to fighting the best of the best, you know, as opposed to, you know, just bringing guys.
They're
that you
cheapening
have.
themselves. It's like taking a lot of movie roles that aren't great roles just to get to the money. Tell everybody real quick who has Golden Boy.
Oscar De La Hoya.
Oscar De La Hoya owns Golden Boy.
Yes, Golden Boy.
We'll look forward to great things. Just real quick, we got a couple minutes. Tell them about your hair magazine. Any hair shows coming up?
Yeah, Prestige Hair Magazine. We're at volume 20. You know, that is we have the issue with Marv on the cover, and also featured on the back cover we have K9 with Bad Boy Bill
In a sermon's clothes suit.
Oh, absolutely. And with WIBA champion Melissa. Also, in our previous issue, we've
She's undefeated.
Yes, and with our previous she had one loss, if I'm not mistaken, Barry, but she's world champion.
What does she fight? What class?
She's the women's lightweight champion.
And what is Ali's daughter? Is she still fighting?
No, Layla. She's
retired.
She's married. She had
a
children,
baby?
right?
Yeah, okay.
And so her career is kind of parked. So you know she has not picked that up. But this belt here, the WIBA, Layla, she once held that belt as well. And yeah, that's
Where can they get your hair magazine, Tracy?
Our hair magazines is available at your local beauty supply stores. Just ask your local beauty supplier. You know, it's asked for by name, Prestige Hair. It's a very popular book. You know, especially the supply stores that carry the African American products and the Korean beauty supplies throughout America and the world. They would carry Prestige Hair.
You
magazine.
have a website?
Yes, we do. Our website is www.prestigehairmag.com.
And you have any phone information? You got a toll-free number or anything you want to give them? Or
Sure. They can call directly. Those stylists, those creative individuals, as far as styling and fashion, that has something that you want to present to the world. That's, you know, we deal with a lot of stars and celebrities and movie sets and people that you have that talent to possess. You can feel free to give us a call at 313-444-0885. I also want to mention I have one of my nail techs here, nail tourist Chrissy. She's on set with us today.
Hi, Chrissy. How are you? Welcome. All right, we got to wrap it up just real quick. Are the hair shows competitive? Is there prize money? How does that work?
Well, you know, I'm the founder and creator of the Milky Way Hair Show Tour, and which is now one of the biggest hair shows on planet Earth, with over maybe 200,000 people that's attended that show. And the Milky Way Hair Show, when we first started here in Detroit, we raised the bar. I raised the bar, Barry, from $1,000 he was giving these stylists and beauticians and nail techs, $500, you know, $1,000, whatever they want to give them, you know. And I said, look, let's raise the bar. We gave them $10,000 first cash prize.
Wow.
And Goldie of Detroit was our first cash the $10,000. Then we raised the bar. We wasn't going to the clubs and all these venues. We went to the Opera House and Cobo Center. We took it to more of elaborate, and we raised the bar. And so the people's been coming in huge. In fact, you go on to the YouTube. Tracey Gilliam promotes Myrtle Beach Hair Show, and you can see some of the history clips that we have.
This is a progressive show that continues throughout the year, and then there's a grand prize after so long, I guess.
Yeah, well, actually,
that show
tours. It tours now. The contest that we had, it was one mounting up to a big show, but now they do individual shows in different cities. So you can go onto their website and you can catch up with their next local shows: Atlanta, Chicago, L.A., Houston. They're all over the place.
We'll have to have you back, Tracy. Thank you very much for coming, and thanks for the plug for Sermons Closing. I swear to you, I didn't pay him to say this. Tracy's been shopping there for years, and I know his uncle.
Yes.
And I know your cousin.
Yes.
Keith.
Yes.
Keith. We'll be right back. Thank you. Stick around for a second. Thank you very much.
Hi, Mom.
Great.
Where'd you get all this Narcotics Anonymous stuff from?
Mrs. Owens had Narcotics Anonymous come and talk to our class about meetings that can help people stop using drugs.
Narcotics Anonymous.
Yes, please. Can you help me?
Call Narcotics Anonymous. We can help you.
We are the faces of Detroit. We are the faces
of Delray.
We are the faces of Delray. Governor Snyder wants to put us out of our homes by building a bridge in our front yard.
Homes, where we raised our families.
A community where we buried our loved one.
Delray is struggling, but it's not lifeless. It's a community of hopes and dreams.
Governor Snyder.
Invest,
not destroy.
1,000 men's suits. And right now at Sermons, you can buy one and get two free. Not one suit, but two free. Buy one suit, bring two friends. Buy one suit, bring two relatives. Buy one suit, get two free. Bring your pastor, your boss, your teacher. Buy one suit and get two free. Sermons with 90 years of experience, carrying jeans, exotic skin shoes, sets, shirts, leathers, sweaters, everything for the well-dressed man. Buy one suit, get two free. Sermons on Randolph in downtown Detroit.
The Brinker Group has been serving clients throughout Metro Detroit since 1989. Our group is comprised of 5 commercial contracting firms that specialize in construction management, general contracting, architectural interiors, flooring, glass and aluminum applications, and electrical installation. For exceptional service at competitive rates, choose the Brinker Group. We build with quality, confidence, and pride.
Hey, come on. Man, what is taking so long? Let's play.
Just getting a number.
Whose number?
Narcotics Anonymous.
Hey, if you need to talk.
No way, it's not for me, it's for my brother. He's constantly wasted. Come on, hoop time. Can you tell me about NA?
Call Narcotics Anonymous. We can help you.
You're watching Power Talk on your community TV station, UHF TV 33, Detroit, Highland Park.
Most of you that have been watching the show for the last month and a half or so are very aware of at this point, we turn the show over to Robert Robinson II from It Takes a Village, y'all. So I'm going to do just that, and he's going to tell you what's going on with him and his very important organization. So, Robert, thank you for being here, and I'll be back in a minute.
All right,
it's on you.
First of all, I want to thank everybody for that participated in helping us get the information out about the missing young ladies, about Sharice Gordon, about little Bianca, about Kalisha Madden, and unfortunately, Robert Butt Sr., he was found deceased on Friday. We were out on Tireman and Wyoming passing out flyers for all of the missing people, and also some murder cases that we were trying to get the Crime Stopper flyers about. And we got a phone call from the Butts families about their grandfather being found dead in the car around the corner from the house where he was last seen. So there are the different organizations that were out helping us. You had Midwest, CCW, you know, the Firm Social Club, you had Missing Voices, we had the New Marcus Garvey movement, Detroit Coalition Against Violence. You know, we had a lot of different organizations that were out there trying to do what we could do to get that information out with Crime Stoppers. And I'm just going to ask you to keep the Butts family in prayer. Oh, and also I want to make sure that everybody knows that the Melonics were out there helping us out too, and I appreciate those brothers because when we call them, they come out. We had a prayer vigil for my little cousin Mariah Smith on Saturday, and they were out there and forced to help us out. We also have a coalition that we're working on. It's called Partners for Peace that Pastor Ovella has started out, that we've been working on, trying to get different organizations or anybody that wants to work toward peace to be a part of. And it's like nobody's asking you to change anything that you're doing. What we would like for you to do is bring what you can offer to the table to help us out to reach peace. You know, there's so many things going on in the city, you know, women being found in the trunk of cars. You know, unfortunately, Brenda Hill, Jeff Lewis, and myself were on the scene last Monday for that case when the young ladies were in the trunk of the car And the reason why we went, because we were with Kalisha Madden's mom, Pam, and we were with Sharice Gordon's godmother, Val, and we went over there because they were wondering if it was their child in the trunk. And that's an experience that you just don't want to be a part of, wondering if a child that's found murdered in the trunk of a car is your child. Fortunately for them, it wasn't their child, but unfortunately for someone else, it was theirs. And I have to say, I appreciate Jeff Lewis and Brenda Hill for accompanying me there, because what we went there for one family, we wound up doing for 2 other families. Even though they both were first cousins, you had each individual mom there on the scene and the grandmother. And in that case, the grandmother, that's her third and fourth grandchildren that were lost, because 4 months prior to that, she lost her grandsons. They were murdered and then set on fire. And it's just, while we were out there watching these mothers and the father that was out there and the brothers and all the other family members that were upset, the one cry that we kept hearing is, where are the men at? Where are the men at? And that's a cry I put out to Detroit. Detroit, where are you? Where are the men at? When we get out to these places, the women are out there in force, but we're not there. It's time for us to start standing up. I like what Minister Malik Shabazz says, when the men stand up, boys sit down. We need more men to start standing up. And I'm going to tell you, I know that it's not for everybody to go in and out the vacant houses like we do. Not everybody can run out on the corners passing out Crime Stopper flyers like we do. But you can start right in your own neighborhood. If you go out there first thing in the morning, if you live along a heavily traveled school route, even if you're not along a heavily traveled school route, just get out there, get on the corner, because sometimes just being there makes a difference. Somebody may not do something for fear of somebody else seeing them, and they're getting in trouble for it. We got to start standing up. It's just so many things that's going on in the city. Who can we blame but ourselves? I mean, yeah, we could put a lot of things on the police, but there was a time we used to police our own neighborhoods. We made sure our kids were safe. They used to have the parents standing on the corners making sure the kids were safe at the school, and if you saw somebody getting ready to fight, you would step in. And for you parents, keep talking about what your child will and will not do. You got to lose that, because we never know what our child is doing. I know there's a bunch of things that I did that I'd probably get a whooping about today if my mother found out I did it. But, we can't keep saying that our kids are just so great. You got to sit here and accept the fact that sometimes these kids do things that we have no knowledge of, but we have to step up and police our neighborhoods and not be afraid to let people know about it. Last night, my mom was almost a victim of a guy who wanted to do that. I'm checking on the gas meter thing at 8 o'clock in the evening, but I guess he didn't realize that she had a family that was there for her, and we can get there as fast as we could. And I'm not going to speak too much on that, but trust me, when you get involved with some things in your neighborhood and people see it, it makes a difference. It does. It makes a big difference. And we have to get out. We can't keep sitting back trying to wish change into existence. It's one thing that we were out with the minister and with Barry Ross when we were shutting down the crack house, and the minister allotted me a time to talk. It just hit me, and I've said it a lot, and this is part of my new battle cry. Faith without works is dead. We have to be able to step out on faith to make a lot of things happen. When I first started this thing, I had no idea what I was doing. All I know is I was mad, and I wanted to get out and get involved. From getting involved, I wound up meeting other people who were able to help me get the things that I wanted to get done. So I have no problem going anywhere. Sometimes people think I'm crazy because I go through these vacant houses or things like that, but we have to do what we have to do. We're not supposed to be afraid to talk to each other. There's no reason why I should see another black man and be afraid to talk to that black man. That's right. We should be able to go up to each other and speak to each other with peace and love, with no animosity whatsoever, and address each other. That's what we're supposed to do. That's the way I was raised, and I know a bunch of other people were raised like that too. Sometimes we get caught up in different things, but we have to stop worrying about what each other has and try to figure out what we can do to help each other. It's easy to do. I mean, everybody likes to make it seem like this is something that we're trying to invent or make it new. These things have been going on for years prior to our existence, and we can do it because even back in the 60s, we had people who were willing to give their life to make sure that we had. And we gotten to the point now where everybody's just sitting back at home just trying to let somebody else fight our fight. If you haven't had any type of a wake-up call, Snyder should be your wake-up call. You sat back and let everybody else come in there and vote for you or not vote at all, and this man made it into office. Now he's taking everything away from you, and he's trying to get everything to become a dictatorship. We can't sit back and allow that to happen. We have to get out, be out there in numbers, be out there together to show that we're not falling for any of this. I mean, you can, what was it, that old saying that they say, just because you pour syrup on poop doesn't make it pancakes. You know, stop falling for everything that's being told to you. Get out and see some things for yourself. You know, and I appreciate people taking me under their wings, like the minister and like other leaders who have just come to me and let me know that what I'm doing is a good thing to do, and encouraging me and showing me the way on things I don't know. You know, I appreciate, and I keep mentioning them. People like Brenda Hill, people like Jeff Lewis, like Minister Malik Shabazz, like Barry Ross, like Pastor Ovella, like Jay from The Firm. You got Terry Strick from Sheor. You got Nita Nash and Larisha White, who are working with YANA, which stands for You Are Not Alone. You know, people within my own organization like Van Wiley. You got Brian Hill, Yolanda Lockett, Lily Watson, Booker Snow, Erica Morgan. Don't kill me, Erica. I just stuttered on your name. But the thing is that you got people who are getting together to make me look like I'm smarter than what I am by working with me, helping me get the resources. So when you hear me talk about things with the village, well, it takes a village, y'all. We just call it the village for short. It's not about me. There's no big me's, there's no little you's there. We encourage everybody that can come and work with us and has something to offer to go out into the community to get things together. We can all work at it together. You know, so we need more people to just get up, like the minister says, stand up and get out there and get involved. It's not as hard as everybody's making it seem, and it kind of bothers me that when somebody comes up missing in other communities, I've seen them shut stores down so they can go out there and look for a missing child. I've seen people just put aside everything they can, I mean, everything that they're doing to get out there and do all they can to find somebody. You know, we've gotten so desensitized in our communities that it's just business as usual. Oh, somebody's missing, oh, okay. But what we don't realize is that there are so many people that have been missing. You know, I got a call today about a 16-year-old girl who's been missing for 2 months. You know, how does something like that slip under our radar to where we don't do anything about it or we don't know about it? And I like for a lot of people who have me, if you're watching this show and you know of somebody that's missing and they're going through making flyers, putting their own personal phone numbers on there, which is in essence putting them in trouble, have them give me a call. Have them contact It Takes a Village, y'all. Have them contact Detroit Coalition Against Violence. Have them contact the New Marcus Garvey movement or the Black Panther Party, right? Black Panther Nation. Black Panther Nation. You know, get in touch with somebody that can put you in touch with Crime Stoppers, because people, Crime Stoppers would make those flyers for you. That's one less headache and one less expense, and you don't have to put your personal number out there because people can be cruel. We've seen that in the short time that we've been out looking for the missing, with people who purposely send people on wild goose chases. You know, we never know if they're setting them up because they feel like these people are getting too close to what they've done. So we gotta be that support system for each other. We can't keep sitting back and allowing a criminal to lower our comfort level to where they can do whatever they want. Because I'm going to tell you this, and I know it from talking to some people who do this. If they can get away with it and you know that they're doing it, it's just a matter of time before they come and get you. So why don't you do what you can to do a preventive measure to keep them from doing that? I'd rather see a criminal's comfort level be lowered than mine. And I'm going to tell you right now, I will never, and you can tape this and rewind it, I will never let anybody get me to a position where I'm afraid to walk the streets of Detroit. They'll never get me in a position where I'll sit back and watch you do anything. I'm going to get out there and get involved. If I got to yell, scream, or whatever I got to do, punch you, knock you down, just like the minister said earlier today, if you're raping, trying to pull somebody in the house, we all got to get to that point in our life where their life is worth us taking a chance and giving our life to fight to save theirs. I've lived on this earth for 45 years, and I can honestly say 25 of those years I didn't expect to see, because I was always told when I was a kid I wouldn't make it. But like I say on the other shows, I had a mother, or I have a mother, who she saw the best in me. And when everybody else around me could only see the worst in me, she stuck by me. And by her standing by me, even though I act like I didn't pay attention to a lot of things she said, I listened to what she said. So when I started getting into a bunch of those situations, I would think about what she told me, and I would kind of back off. But other times, you just got to do what you got to do to impress your friends. But over time, I had to put aside childish things, and I became a man, and I started to do things the way a man would do it. So now that I'm in a position that I can honestly say that I'm a man, I'm trying to get more men in this city to stand up. We can get this done. And like I said, I keep saying over and over again, I say it for a reason. It's not a hard thing to do, and it's nothing that's a brand new thing. These things have been going on for years. We just got to bring it back. What one of our mottos is, we are trying to, it takes a village as a grassroots organization which is geared to mobilize people to bring back that old mentality of having each other's back. It's nothing is lost. We can do it. I see it all the time. What's up with you, Ross?
Hi, Robert. Thank you. As usual, you're great. Thank you.
Thanks, sir.
Isn't he great, everybody? I don't want it to go to his head, but it never could. I'm always building him up, but he just doesn't want to accept his true measure of strength in this city. Isn't it about time that everybody starts to realize that, and Miss Wanda Akila Redmond was speaking about earlier, the cavalry ain't coming, y'all. I mean, when are we going to recognize that it's our responsibility?
It is.
To start saving ourselves. It hasn't been really expounded on enough where I think that the average person in this community really realizes the magnitude of what would happen if one individual ran this city. That means they exclude the city council, and they exclude everyone else's input, and they make all the decisions for all the contracts, and that gives them the ability to privatize the water, everything. The contracts that would be given out would be more than likely given out to their associates, to better their associates. Now, why does a man like our governor, who sold Gateway for over $100 million, why would he be interested in going into politics other than gaining more power and control? And I obviously have to say that I am a big proponent of not trying to control anything. It's hard enough for me to control me, let alone controlling everybody else. I always say the person that really wants to control, you've been to the beach, the lifeguards that sit on the big high chairs? What if you were in control and your high chair went up to the ionosphere, to the highest cloud, and you had one of these bullhorns and you're yelling down to earth what everyone should do? That's almost what our governor is in the position to be doing. We can listen, Michigan, the city of Detroit used to have 2 million residents. We won't count that the last census was accurate, because we know that a lot of men and women don't stand up and aren't accounted for, and then there's the homeless. But let's say that there are 850,000 people. This prevents us from getting the federal money. Don't you have to be at around 1 million to be more qualified for federal money? So the more of us that get afraid, the more of us that move out of the city, these are more monies that we can't get, not as if we should say that the federal government is trusting that we could handle the money anyway, because we haven't shown them this. We need to show what we can do. Give the people of Detroit the opportunity. We've made enough mistakes. I would hope we're starting to learn from the errors in our ways. So I'm asking you, he's asking you, Minister Shabazz is asking you, my God, stand up. We can no longer afford to lose too many more women and children. How about, what would we have to say if a van pulls up to a street to a young lady to ask them a question in the middle of the night and their windows were blocked out? What should this young lady do? Anything suspicious that doesn't feel right, stay away from it. Any man that you see that another man is doing something suspicious, stop him. If you see a van picking up some women, some young ladies, get the license plate. Start chasing them down. Call the police. We must all get on board. We're not doing it. This man here's got 5,000 close in the village, and people are everywhere. We need thousands of us to come out. Robert's always telling me I'm a numbers man. What we really need is some good men. We need good quality men, actually, and women, to come out and support. Minister Shabazz, real quick, is sitting in the audience. Friday night, you're having this no bridge card, emergency manager, Kwanzaa, fifth night of the Kwanzaa. Where's this going to be? 1500 East State Fair? Yes. And it's a rally, 7 p.m., East State Fair, 1500 East State Fair. Listen, this is on East State Fair, which is 7.5 miles, right? Yep. This is between DeQuinder and 75 on the south side of the street. We need you to show up. There'll be forms for you to sign against the, petitions to sign against the petitions to take home, to get your friends to sign. You can register. You need to stay tuned to us, everybody, because we got a lot more for you. And next week we're going to be announcing, in the next few days, about the patrol. You announced this patrol, but we need to get more word out to the community about this patrol, Malik. Next Wednesday at 5 a.m., we don't have a meeting point yet, do we?
No, but they can call, give them my number, they can call that, and as we get information, we'll let them know.
Okay. We have a phone call? Okay, let's take a phone call real quick. We got a few minutes. Hello, you're on the air. Good evening.
Hey, Barry. Hi, Robert. This is Auntie Nay. How are we this
Auntie
evening?
Nay, how are you?
Hey, what's going on, Nay?
I'm good. Listening, I'm asking my Detroiters like you guys are, come on out here and give me support. Be a part of Minister Shabazz. Get on out here with Robert. Come on and be a part of what Barry's asking you guys to do. It takes all of us Detroiters to take care of our elderly, our babies, our young mothers that's walking around out here that are being attacked and injured, our children to and from school. Let's get up and get out here and do our part. And believe me, guys, again, I'm right there on that battlefield with you. I ain't giving up and I ain't quitting. In sickness and in health, we're going to take our city back. We're going to put a stop to these crimes taking place. We're going to stop you all hurting our babies and our young mothers. And you're going to keep your hands off of our elderly. So I want you guys to know I'm out there with you. And Minister Shabazz, save a couple of them petitions for me. I got a few folks. I'm going to pass them out to them. We're going to keep our women out here with these bridge cards. We're going to keep our elderly with these foods on the table. I'm there with you guys. Keep that in mind. Sorry, Barry, I couldn't be there personally, but my love and spirit is with you guys on this fight.
Yes, ma'am, and you are great to call. And everybody know that Auntie Nana had a corner on this show, and she was unable to make it tonight, but she hasn't been feeling well, Malik. And she had a touch of walking pneumonia, so we wish her Godspeed. And you are something else to even call in, and we appreciate you. And thank you for talking about and Mr. Butts was in your area, wasn't he?
Yes, he was. He was in my area. We did find him, and sad to say, in the shape that we about knew after a length of time, him being missing, it was going to be. But our prayers go out to his family and his loved ones as well. Let's not have to find any more of ours out there like
for
that,
sure.
Detroiters. Come on.
Thank you very much, and I wish you and your family a very happy New Year. Do you want to say anything to her real quick?
Oh yeah, I'll be over in your neighborhood, so next time I'm over there, I'm gonna stop by. So just keep the dogs away from me.
Hey, my baby's out there protecting and guarding as well.
That's why I gave you that warning, because I don't want them thinking I'm one of them other people.
All righty then. You guys take care.
Thank you, and I love you. I just want to say real quick to everybody, we were in the, I was in the midst of giving you Minister Shabazz's phone number for this major patrol next week. Next Wednesday, for several hours, we're having a patrol in a large area where there's going to be no power. DTE is cutting off the power to an area to protect the grid, to repair the grid. If this area is not repaired, then we could lose everything in Detroit. Right. So we're asking you to get on board. So you call Minister Malik Shabazz at 313-646-3375. You can call me, 248-417-9696. And one more thing, we all have a hotline number that's in use for all of us. It is 313-355-2807. We have a phone call. Yes. Hello, you're on the air. Good evening.
Yes, my name is Bishop. How are you doing, sir?
Hi, Bishop. We have about 1 minute.